189. Di Qing, rising from a lowly background. When Han Qi and Fan Zhongyan were first assigned to defend Shaanxi against Western Xia, someone recommended a local military officer named Di Qing. The recommender praised Di Qing as a fearless warrior with the makings of a great general. Fan Zhongyan, who urgently needed talented commanders, became intrigued and asked for a detailed account of Di Qing's achievements. From a common soldier to a rising star. Di Qing had originally been a common soldier in the Imperial Guards stationed in Kaifeng. From an early age, he excelled in martial arts, horseback riding, and archery. His exceptional bravery and strength eventually earned him a promotion to a junior officer. After Yuan Hao of Western Xia declared himself emperor, Emperor Renzong of Song sent reinforcements to the northwest frontier, assigning Di Qing to Baoan, modern Jidong, Shaanxi. Soon after, Western Xia launched an attack on Baoan. The Song troops stationed there had suffered multiple defeats, and morale was critically low. Many soldiers feared battle and hesitated to fight. The regional commander, Lu Shouqing, worried about this situation. Seeing this, Di Qing volunteered to lead the vanguard against the invading Western Xia forces. Lu Shouqing, eager to turn the tide, agreed and assigned Di Qing a detachment of troops. The fierce warrior in the copper mask. Whenever Di Qing entered battle, he changed his appearance to intimidate the enemy. He loosened his hair, letting it fall wildly around his shoulders. He wore a copper mask, which concealed his face except for his piercing eyes. Armed with a long spear, he personally led the charge into enemy formations, slashing and thrusting in all directions. The Western Xia soldiers had never faced such a terrifying opponent. Seeing Di Qing's eerie appearance and unmatched combat skills, they became paralyzed with fear. As Di Qing and his troops charged fiercely, the Western Xia army fell into chaos and retreated. The Song forces pursued them, securing a resounding victory. Recognition from the emperor. When news of Di Qing's triumph reached the imperial court, Emperor Renzong was overjoyed. He promoted Lu Shouqing. Di Qing was granted a 4-rank promotion. Impressed by Di Qing's battlefield prowess, Renzong considered summoning him to the capital for a personal audience. However, before this could happen, Western Xia launched another attack on Weizhou, and Di Qing was reassigned to defend it. Although the emperor never got to meet him at the time, he ordered an official portrait of Di Qing to be sent to the court. Di Qing becomes a legend. Over the next few years, Western Xia repeatedly invaded the Song borderlands, creating instability across the region. During this time, Di Qing fought in 25 major battles, sustaining 8 arrow wounds, yet never losing a single engagement. His fearless reputation spread far and wide. Western Xia soldiers began to fear his name, and whenever they heard Di Qing was leading an army, many refused to fight. Fan Zhongyan's advice, the importance of learning. When Fan Zhongyan finally met Di Qing, he asked, "What books have you read?" Di Qing, coming from a humble background, was barely literate. Unable to answer, he admitted that he had not studied much. Fan Zhongyan advised him, "You are now an officer. A general must do more than fight bravely. To command wisely, one must study history and strategy." Encouraged by Fan Zhongyan's support, Di Qing resolved to educate himself. He used every available moment between battles to study diligently. Over time, he mastered the military strategies of famous generals from the Qing and Han dynasties. As he continued achieving victories, he earned further promotions. Summoned to the capital. After years of distinguished service, Di Qing was finally summoned back to Kaifeng and appointed deputy commander of the cavalry. However, a problem remained. The mark of a soldier, facial tattoos. At that time, the Song dynasty had a harsh system to prevent desertion. Soldiers were tattooed with identifying marks on their faces. As a former foot soldier, Di Qing bore these tattoos on his face. Even though he had risen to become a great general, the black ink remained. After meeting Di Qing in person, Emperor Renzong was impressed but felt uncomfortable about the tattoos. He ordered Di Qing to use medicine to remove the markings, saying it was unseemly for a high-ranking officer to bear such marks. However, Di Qing refused, explaining, "Your Majesty, I am grateful that you did not judge me by my humble origins and promoted me based on my merits. These markings are a part of my past. If I remove them, my soldiers may forget where I came from. I would rather keep them as a reminder for all soldiers that they too can rise through the ranks by their own efforts." Hearing this, Emperor Renzong was deeply moved and respected him even more. The highest promotion in history. Because of his continued military successes, Di Qing was eventually promoted to Grand Chancellor of Military Affairs, the highest military position in the empire. This was unprecedented in Song history, a former common soldier rising to the highest military office. However, some officials resented his humble origins and criticized the emperor for promoting him. Yet, Emperor Renzong remained steadfast, believing that talent and loyalty mattered more than noble birth. A nobleman tries to give Di Qing a fake heritage. Despite his high position, Di Qing remained humble. One day, a man claiming to be a descendant of Di Renjie, a famous Tang dynasty chancellor, presented Di Qing with a portrait of Di Renjie, saying, "You, too, are of the noble Di family. Why not acknowledge Di Renjie as your ancestor?" Di Qing smiled modestly and declined, saying, "I was born into a lowly background. My rise to this position was by chance and effort, not noble lineage. I could never claim to be part of Di Renjie's family." Legacy. Di Qing's story became one of the greatest success stories in Song history. His rise from a common foot soldier to the most powerful general in the empire defied social norms. He was admired for his battlefield courage, relentless pursuit of knowledge, and humility despite his high rank. To this day, Di Qing remains a symbol of perseverance, meritocracy, and the power of self-improvement. 190. Fan Zhongyan's reform movement. After years of strict military discipline and efforts to ease the burden on borderland civilians, Fan Zhongyan significantly strengthened the Song dynasty's defenses. As a result, Western Xia, which had been at war with the Song dynasty for years, found itself unable to gain an advantage. In 1043, Emperor Yuan Hao of Western Xia agreed to submit to Song authority in exchange for an annual tribute of silver, silk, and tea. This temporarily stabilized the border situation. However, Fan Zhongyan was more than just a military strategist, he was also a renowned politician and literary figure of the Song dynasty. Fan Zhongyan's early life and hardships. Born in Suzhou, Wuxian, modern Suzhou, Jiangsu, Fan Zhongyan lost his father at a young age. His mother, unable to support him, remarried into the Zhu family, and Fan Zhongyan grew up in hardship. He lived in a monastery while studying. He was so poor that he could barely afford food, often surviving on thin porridge. Despite these struggles, he studied relentlessly, sometimes staying awake until midnight. If he was too exhausted to continue, he would splash cold water on his face to stay awake. After years of relentless effort, he became a highly educated scholar and later rose to prominence in the imperial court. Conflict with corrupt officials. Early in his political career, Fan Zhongyan served as a censor, responsible for advising the emperor and exposing corruption. At the time, the Grand Chancellor Louis Jian was abusing his power and appointing incompetent allies to government positions. Fan Zhongyan boldly reported this misconduct to Emperor Renzong. However, Louis Jian retaliated, accusing Fan Zhongyan of forming political factions and stirring unrest. Believing Louis Jian's lies, Emperor Renzong exiled Fan Zhongyan to a distant post in the south. It was only after the war with Western Xia began that the emperor recalled him to take charge of border defenses in Shaanxi. Fan Zhongyan's return to court. After proving his worth in the Song-Xia War, Fan Zhongyan was once again recognized as a capable leader. Meanwhile, the Song dynasty was in crisis. Corruption was rampant within the government. The war with Liao and Western Xia had drained the imperial treasury. The government was struggling to maintain financial stability. Recognizing Fan Zhongyan's talent, Emperor Renzong appointed him deputy chancellor and summoned him back to the capital to propose solutions for reform. The 10-point reform program. Upon his return, Fan Zhongyan quickly realized that the problems in the imperial court were too deep to be solved overnight. However, Emperor Renzong urged him to act immediately. Thus, he drafted a series of 10 reforms, which later became known as the Qingli Reforms, named after Emperor Renzong's Qingli era, 1041 to 1048. The key reforms included merit-based evaluation of officials. All officials were to be regularly assessed. Those who performed well would be promoted, while those who failed would be demoted or dismissed. Restricting nepotism. Officials' sons and relatives could no longer be appointed based on family connections. Reforming the imperial examination system. Introducing stricter standards to ensure the most capable individuals were selected. Careful selection of regional governors. Governors would be chosen based on merit, ensuring that only competent administrators ruled the provinces. Promoting agriculture and silk production. Encouraging farmers and silk producers to boost the economy. Reducing forced labor on commoners. Lightening the burden on peasants by limiting government-imposed labor obligations. Strengthening military readiness. Reforming the military training system to improve combat effectiveness. Strict enforcement of laws. Implementing harsh penalties for corruption and misconduct. The resistance against reform. Emperor Renzong enthusiastically approved Fan Zhongyan's proposals and ordered them to be implemented nationwide. However, as soon as the reforms began, they provoked massive backlash. Noble families, corrupt officials, and aristocrats fiercely opposed the reforms. Many began spreading false rumors to discredit Fan Zhongyan. Some jealous officials accused Fan Zhongyan of forming political factions. Among his closest colleagues was Fu Bai, who initially hesitated about removing corrupt officials. One day, while reviewing candidates for regional inspectors, Fan Zhongyan crossed out the names of corrupt officials, stating that they must be replaced. Fu Bai hesitated and remarked, "Fan Gong, with a single stroke of your brush, you are making an entire family cry." Fan Zhongyan sternly replied, "If I do not remove them, an entire province of people will suffer." Hearing this, Fu Bai realized Fan Zhongyan's wisdom and unwavering commitment to justice. The fall of the reform movement. Despite Fan Zhongyan's dedication, the opposition only grew stronger. Powerful aristocrats and corrupt officials constantly slandered him before the emperor. Emperor Renzong, who had initially supported the reforms, became uneasy as resistance mounted. Under intense political pressure, Fan Zhongyan found himself unable to continue his work. To avoid further conflict, he requested to be reassigned to Shaanxi to defend against Western Xia. Emperor Renzong agreed, and once Fan Zhongyan left the capital, he abolished the reforms. Fan Zhongyan's lasting legacy. Although the Qingli reforms failed, Fan Zhongyan remained undeterred. A year later, his old friend Teng Zongliang, who was serving as the governor of Yuezhou, modern-day Yeyang, Hunan, invited him to write a literary inscription for the famous Yeyang Tower. Despite his political setbacks, Fan Zhongyan was not bitter. Instead, he wrote one of the most famous essays in Chinese history, Memorial to Yeyang Tower. In this masterpiece, he expressed his ideals of selfless service, writing the now immortal lines. "One must worry for the world before others, and enjoy only after the world has found happiness." This phrase became a defining motto of Confucian scholars and officials in later generations. Conclusion. Fan Zhongyan's reform movement was ultimately short-lived, but his vision for a just and meritocratic government lived on. His ideals inspired later reformers, such as Wang Engshi, who launched another major reform effort during the reign of Emperor Shenzong of Song. Though his political career suffered setbacks, Fan Zhongyan's legacy as a selfless and righteous official remains deeply respected. His belief that a true leader must always put the people first made him one of the most admired figures in Chinese history.